Greetings, everyone, and welcome back to That Variety Nerd. I'm Christina, and today we are back in The Sims 4. This time we are doing a full out build. What? So, this is on the Hideaway, the Hindquarters Hideaway. Yeah, that sounds right. In the Sims Cats and Dogs in Brindleton Bay. And pretty much I was working on the Plateau place in Strangerville and this build sort of at the same time. So I don't know, there's some sort of multiverse or something happening here, but I kind of kept the whole, oh yeah, this is Grandma's house sort of vibe when I was going for this one. Originally, I got inspired by a real life build in real life in my own little neighborhood, and I think that's some of the best builds is when it's like sort of based off of like something that you've probably have seen in real life. I don't know, maybe that's just me. I like a good quirky build myself or a quirky remodel, but today we wanted to just do something very simple and I only use base game and cats and dogs. I think a little bit of the holiday stuff too. If I ever forget about the holiday stuff and those like holiday stuff pack things, it's only because I lump it in with the base game because the holiday stuff is free. So that's exciting. Again, I always recommend just keeping move objects on because sometimes I put them in there and sometimes I put it on and I don't remember to mention it or not. So that's kind of just going to be the normal disclaimer with any of these builds because sometimes I don't remember if I have them on or not. So yeah, this is based off of very loosely based off of the grandma from the grandma room in Plateau Place from Strangerville. So kind of think of it as like, oh, okay, like maybe she's getting up there in age and she wants to just get on a ground level place but couldn't find anywhere to stay. And grandparents, they're getting older. We need to take care of them, right? Right. And so I got inspired to do that from this. Originally, I was thinking of like, oh, okay, maybe this could also work for like an author because I've been working on the Homeless Author Challenge, which I will go ahead and link in the description down below. So that's exciting. And yeah, I really just, you'll see how it all comes together. It doesn't look like a whole lot right now, but I really like this build. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because it's very cozy and interesting. You'll see at the very end these screen captures slash screenshots. They do not do it justice because I have seasons and it was raining really hard. But I mean, in a way, it kind of highlights the coziness that this house brings. So, I mean, maybe the thunderstorm or rainstorm kind of helped out in the end. But yeah, I feel like we need more builds that are like maybe only a couple of packs because, again, poor college student here, looking out for y'all. I want to keep getting better and better and better and just keep improving on builds, in remodeling and just it's a matter of just getting your feet wet, I think. And that's what I'm trying to work with here. And we're still diving into extra content to showcase on this channel to make it more, I don't know, variety. So, for now, at the very least, we can try different types of building, different types of houses, maybe apartments. I really want to do the city living challenge, and it's kind of confusing, but it's also not confusing at the same time. I don't know. Let me just search this up really quickly. Yeah, there's like a city living challenge, I think, which I think would be really cool to try. And yeah, let's see what we got here. Do, 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 do. Let us see here. We got yeah, so it's called the Movin' On Up challenge, which, good reference to the I believe it's I believe the show came out in the 70s, but let me double check. But there's a show called The Jeffersons, and I think that's what the name was based off of. But it's actually a pretty wholesome show, I'm not gonna lie. Granted, again, it came out in like the 70s and ended in the 80s, I believe. Yeah, that's what Wikipedia says, from 1975 to 1985. So not bad at all. So it's pretty much like you have to pretty much like remodel all of the apartments from what it sounds like, but you have to gradually afford better and better apartments if that makes any sense whatsoever. And you can do it like a legacy challenge, but yeah, it should be interesting. We might do it, but we'll see how it goes. And I really love the apartments, and that's what I'm most familiar with. So if you see any sort of ridiculous houses that are like, this is not possible in real life, well, don't just no. I grew up in apartments, never lived in a house. Yeah, so that's what I know. But that doesn't mean that I can't appreciate good architecture, trying new things, stuff like that. So yeah, we're just finishing up the general like layout of this house, and now I think this is where we're diving into the landscaping. And I want to keep it very minimal because there's you can sort of see from right here, it's surrounded by trees. It's meant to be a hideaway. And yeah, I want to just keep it as simple as I can. Yep, there's move objects on. I really like those little bushes right there, but it's like you got to use move objects on to really make the most out of those. And I'm just trying to make sure, and I want to use a lot of windows. I don't use windows on like the sides, but I use them like throughout, if that makes any sense, like on both halves, just facing the back way and the front way. A little bit of landscaping just to blend everything in, I think. That's sort of what I was going with. So yeah, I like how this turned out. I really do. It's very cozy and it reminds me very much of my own late grandmother's little apartment and I think it's very relatable. We have grandparents out there um and this is just a little bit of a shout out. And oh, so I end up changing the outside white paneling to this really cool red color. It kind of gave me like more of like farmhouse, or not really farmhouse, but more like a barn sort of vibe. But you'll see it. I think it all ties together really well in the end. It's very just, it has a really quirky color on the outside, but it's just very cozy on the inside. Also, that little 2 by 2 space back there is meant to be like a walk-in closet sort of thing, but you can always convert that into something else, like a bigger bathroom or just whatever you want. So yeah, I'm just trying to get in basic flooring, which we eventually changed, tiling, and even the walls we sort of change eventually as well. So we're just getting the bare bones of this sort of together. I still struggle with roofing quite a bit, but I think it's getting slightly better with each time I'm building something. Again, this is why I just remodel everything or furnish things. I'm not so much into the roofing aspect unless it's like a weird sort of maybe more modern home where it's like you can do the half wall trick and just do like a trim or something, because that's about the extent of how good in terms of roofing I can do. Or unless if it's like, you can turn this into a greenhouse. Oh, yeah, so this is where we transition into furnishing it. And you'll sort of see that red color out there, that changed from recording one slash sitting number one to sitting number two. These were actually recorded, I think, 1 week apart from each other because, again, I was just stressed from the end of the semester and I needed a nap somewhere in there. So, yeah, I just wanted to go nuts with this. And I don't know, I really enjoyed it. I recorded this on the 6th, so on Monday, and I believe I recorded this while I was enjoying my iced coffee at a local coffee shop. So, please support your local businesses. This is a PSA, just saying. And honestly, it was like the best iced coffee that I've had in quite a while. So, that's gonna be my next go-to. Plus, I mean, I can't really complain about good coffee. That's how we roll in this household. We enjoy good coffee, good food, and making memories and all that fun stuff. So I think we're gonna try the whole city living challenge thing next. I don't know. Yeah, it's called the Moving On Up challenge again. So that's pretty much what's going. It's pretty much just city living. Um, it's gonna be very interesting to see how this goes. Yeah, and it sounds like very much like a rags to riches sort of thing almost. But it should be very, very interesting to say the least. And this is not mine. Again, we're going to link this in the description as well. So that's going to be a lot of fun to try. I think it's like time to just sort of dive into a let's play or something. Just because I think it would really just be fun. That's just what I'm all about. And in the meantime, we're still going to just play around with different video games and see how it goes and go from there. And yeah, it's really weird. So, I've had to get like another USB drive to record like for example like Xbox game footage, which is kind of weird. Then I have to record a voiceover that sort of hopefully will line up. But I've heard that if you get a PlayStation 4, you can record your voice with the PlayStation 4. I don't know how true that is or not. I'm still looking it up. I'm just sort of making a note to myself for this video to include the link to the Moving On Up challenge because I think that's going to be the next sim thing that we do after building because, why not? And yeah, I'm really excited just to see potentially where the challenge goes, if it goes anywhere. And I think we just need that sort of direction right now in this game. I have to do a little bit of just excavating on the moving on up challenge a little bit more. But yeah, that whole link is in the description. I think it's going to be a lot of fun just because it's like a combination of like building and gameplay as well. So that's what I think we're going to do next. I've contemplated the Hunter Baby Challenge, but then I realized, oh god, I can barely take care of like one or two Sims, let alone toddlers. But yeah, I enjoy like legacy challenges, the ABC challenge too. There's so many challenges for The Sims, but I've also embraced it. So maybe this could end up being some sort of legacy challenge in and of itself, but who knows? Who really knows? But yeah, as you can see, we're really trying to make this like grandma's house. We use the same tiles, I think. I'm pretty sure we use the same tiles. I don't remember. But yeah, as you can sort of see, we changed the wallpaper, or the paint rather, to that same white color, but like with the wood paneling on the bottom. Just so that way it kind of all ties together. And this kitchen was a little bit tricky to figure out in general. And the reason I didn't include a big like green bin outside is because I wanted to do the one that like you make money off of, the scientific looking one, the 1200 simoleon one. So if you get rid of that, that could probably alleviate a little bit of funds or change counters or change the stove because I wanted to go a little bit more expensive because grandma deserves a nice stove. And yeah, as you can sort of see, I had to include an extra wall just to, you know, kind of cut off the kitchen but also give us a little bit more room to play with. And yeah, I was just trying to figure out what kind of trash can to use. I eventually replaced that. I wanted to include some little counter chairs just because those are always really cute. And that would be perfect for the grandchildren just to kind of hang out, maybe do their homework or whatever. But yeah, as you can sort of see, I just cannot make up my mind half the time when I'm furnishing these sort of places. But yeah, I just it's something that I really enjoy doing. I like furnishing everything. I feel like I definitely like the remodeling and furnishings more than the actual building. So if you're like, "Hey, Christina, I can build things, but I'm terrible at furnishing." It's okay. I'm terrible at both. But again, like for me, what always helps is just having a character or maybe like a family in mind, and that's sort of what I'm going for. So that's what I was just trying to do with the kitchen. I wanted to make it as rusticy as possible, and I realized that the laundry day pack, the stuff pack would have been really useful, but again, poor college student. We can't afford nice things. I'm only joking. We can to a certain degree, but we just prefer our food. No shame, none at all. Yeah, this is sort of what I was going for, just very rusticy, very country-ish, and just using as much as I could from the cats and dogs sort of pack. There's a little space, and you'll sort of see it too. There's like subtle, just very small things that I include for like a cat, which I think is very fitting. You can change that out for if you want to have a dog in your little place. So yeah, that was what I was going for. Just, grandparents, maybe with a cat or a dog, maybe both. And you can fill in little spaces here and there with like cats and dogs sort of beds and all that stuff. But yeah, I just have the expansion packs and the game packs, and I don't have any stuff packs. Just because it's always like I tend to miss the sales, or it's sort of like I don't see I don't see the point in them. Maybe that's just me, but to me they're too nichey, and I like the game packs because it's like they're nichey, but they also add a lot of good stuff to it, and they're not super expensive. And the expansion packs to me they're a must-have simply because well they expand on the game. That's kind of the point, and they include usually new world ways to just change your overall gameplay experience, and that's something we can all sort of appreciate. And yeah, you'll also see in the screenshots that I re-included that lamp that was in the hallway area by the door. And I think we're pretty much done on the first level. This is the master bedroom that you can use from the stairs. Something else that you could do too is where that living room area is. You can sort of convert that into like an extra bedroom perhaps from like the area like the couches and behind. You could always convert that into a second bedroom. So that's just some sort of food for thought. Or you could include that as like a living room area. So yeah, the layout's a little bit quirky, but I think it sort of works. I was keeping in mind the author, like not the author, but a author, like a writer in The Sims when I was kind of making up this room because I wanted to be like rustic and cozy, but where that little like cupboard thing is, like to the left, slash cabinety sort of area, you'll sort of see that I moved the desk, which we are planting right now, in that little back corner. And so I wanted to make sure that the lighting was just right back here, nothing too bright, nothing too dark. And just trying to match up everything because I wanted to be clean, nothing super wild and fancy, but also just I want it to feel very old fashioned. I don't know if that's the right word I would use, but yeah, we're gonna go with that. And so yeah, this part was a little bit quirky just in general, but you have like these little flip flops on the top and like the Christmas slash winter sort of decor together, which I think is really funny. But I mean, it kind of fits in together because right when we have like Christmas and the holidays here in the US and the other half of the world, I think it's more the Eastern Hemisphere. So like think like Australia, I believe, like they're experiencing like summer and heat waves, whereas like here in the US, it's like winter. So half the world's experiencing summer, other half's experiencing winter. And I don't know, maybe that's just fitting, I think. That's very fitting. But yeah, we're sort of getting to the end of this build. I'm really excited for you all to see the screenshots. I think the screenshots do the build some justice, not a whole lot of justice, but I think they do some justice. And yeah, I just wanted to tie everything back, keeping the counters all the same. I did not include a mirror in here, but there should be one, I believe. Yeah, there is a mirror in the bedroom, so it kind of evens out. And like, who wouldn't want to look at the sink? And I think you get a little bit of a view in one of the screenshots of what sort of the area looks like when you look outside, when you're, washing your hands or whatever. It's really nice. And again, like if you have Get Together or City Living, I believe, those two packs have that really cool, like, wicker closet, I think, or different types of wicker closets that you can use. So I would recommend placing that in there, maybe moving that desk like somewhere else, maybe to another window. And that's pretty much the entire build, minus the little outdoor part, which I got to last. I felt like it was very fitting because it's like you have all this nature, and yeah, I wanted to have something very cozy, maybe some grilling for the kids and the grandkids, little bar area because, grandma deserves a little bit of juice while she's grilling, or grandpa, wants some juice as well. And, just something very cozy. And I really liked how this turned out. There's a few gardening things back here, not a whole lot. There's some monkey bars. Again, I'm thinking of I thought about like the grandkids in mind back here. And so back there, I also included more wood back there as well. This is the end of the furnishing, I think. I'm just going through and just including a lot of just little curtains, just little things to just tie up the place, to tie everything together nicely. And I really, really love this little outdoor area. Like, I would do anything for this outdoor area. So, yeah, I kept it very rustic, very cats and yeah. So, this is pretty much, I believe, the end of the build or the furnishing. And we should be jumping into the screenshots like very, very soon. Sometimes it's kind of hard to tell when you're recording a voiceover. But yeah, this is pretty much it. And yeah, these are the screenshots. This is what it'll look like when you first enter. Again, this is happening while the seasons are it's raining outside. I have seasons installed, so that's why. That's the kitchen, little dining area. I really like this first level especially. And just the cozy factor of it. And that's sort of what I was going for. Just something very simple, very cozy. Something that grandma or grandpa would appreciate, probably. And yeah, this little outdoor area. That's, the cat area. The cat condo is right there as well. And I really love that screenshot in particular, just because it really captures just how wonderful it is. And thank you all for watching. Stay tuned for the next video. See y'all.